Oh, hey, Righteous Foes and Frenemies. It's Dan from Righteous Fury Media, and we're back with our second installment of film and television reviews. We got a special event. You guys asked for it, and we provide. We've got Righteous Joe and Furious Brad on it this week, and we're doing Justice League. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Furious Fortress, our righteous ladies and furious bros. This is our second installment of film and television reviews. In the studio this evening, we've got Furious Brad and Righteous Joe, and our review is going to be on Justice League. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm just going to open it up for you guys to give likes, dislikes, and then go ahead and give your score. Just talk about it for a little bit, and then let's give our score. We'll give an accumulated score, and then we'll send you guys on your way. Stay tuned after this if you guys want to. We're also going to have a spoiler edition where it's pretty much just going to be podcast style, and we just discuss the movie. We can talk at forever, so just stay tuned to that if you guys want to. All right, it's all you guys.
All right, I guess I'll start. I'll preface this by saying I don't have that much knowledge of the comic book backstory and heroes and all that sort of stuff. I've been keeping up with the DC universe, cinematic universe. So, with that in mind, I'll say the locations, it's hitting all over the place. I really like the look of a lot of the places. It was cool to get to see Atlantis for the first time and all of the people in Atlantis, the Atlanteans. I got excited to see Paradise Island again, and we go to Central City and Star Labs and all that sort of stuff. Good variety of locations. I wasn't a fan of where the majority of the film took place. I will say that.
Okay.
But overall, I really liked the settings and the locations. As far as character goes, I thought everybody was really good. There are a couple of characters that stood out as particularly good and some that kind of fell flat to me. I thought Barry Allen was fantastic. His humor was spot on for me, and I felt like he was really relatable. I liked the scenes that had Aquaman in them. The action scenes, that dude really steals the spotlight on the screen. But I felt like his dialogue was pretty flat, one-dimensional, lacked a little bit.
Could be on the writers too. We don't.
Very much.
Somewhat.
Yeah. We know that he's going to get an individual.
You like the way that he acted the part, though.
Yes.
And he definitely comes across in the action. So.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to his single story, but if you don't have any of that backstory of that character coming into this film, I feel like he may be a little confusing for you coming into it.
Understandable.
Overall, entertaining. I had a great time with it. There's a lot of action on screen. You get to see a lot of big-name characters and heroes. I thought that the bad guy was a little weird, but again, I didn't have that previous knowledge of this universe coming in. Mm-hmm. And so it was all CGI for that character. Felt very weird to me. He again was very one-dimensional. You know, a lot of the Batman characters have layers to them, and I didn't feel like this guy did in this film, Steppenwolf. So for me, overall,
which with that you got to think, a lot of the Batman characters are Gotham City based only.
That's true.
Whereas this person is totally different. Realm.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you. It just.
One question before you give your score on this.
Yeah.
Would you see it again? And I'm not talking about necessarily even in theaters. Would you see this again?
I would watch it again in a few months. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to watch a movie 2 or 3 times in theaters.
Right.
It's very rare that I'll see one twice in theaters.
Okay.
This isn't one that I would go back a second time in theaters and watch, but I would rent it down the line, sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. Overall, I think for me this rates right around a 7. So that's my.
We got a 7 from Righteous Joe over here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. We'll move along on to Furious Brad. Brad, what did you think?
The setting, and we discussed this a little amongst ourselves. I understand what Joe's saying about it. It's a place where it's used a lot in a lot of different DC and Marvel alike. Even video game world uses it a lot. There's a little bit of a backstory to it. It's just a minute or two dialogue where they explain why they're there. If that wasn't there, I'd kind of be like, oh gosh, here we go again, same place. But they kind of explain why most of the movie takes place in the location it does. I felt like the story with the actual villain was all kind of rushed. I felt like, and that's due with them trying to show Wonder Woman, show Aquaman, show Cyborg, show the Flash. They're trying to show a piece of each one. I would have been fine if the movie would have been 30 or 45 minutes longer, and
Yeah.
it went into the backstory with Steppenwolf.
So you know that WB actually forced the hand of them to have to cut this down. At one point in time, it was right around 3 hours, and they said this has to be. It was mandatory to make it less than 2 hours, so
That's
they cut
why
it down to
it was 1
1 hour
minute.
and 59 minutes.
And I disagree with that. I'm not a huge fan, of long movies, but if they're good, Lord of the Rings, I watched Lord of the Rings a couple times each in theater, and those were
Yeah.
3-hour films.
Yeah.
I felt like this one could have been longer. I think it's Batman v Superman was like 2.5 hours, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours and 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It could have been shorter, I thought. This one, I think the storyline was Steppenwolf, and they gave a short little bit of his backstory. I felt like it was all kind of rushed. They threw in some humor, like you talked about with Flash, and even Batman had a few humorous parts. Aquaman, a few humor lines, and I'm okay with a little bit. I kind of feel like they were trying to go too much Marvel for me. Marvel's kind of got the jokey side. I want DC and Batman, especially in Justice League. I want a grittier, darker world.
Yes.
And you know, I would love a rated R Batman Justice League. It would be my favorite thing in the world. I know they don't want to do that because it might push away some of the younger audience.
Right.
But other than that, I thought the action scenes were great. After credit scenes, we'll talk about them in the spoiler review. One character that I didn't like, and I'm surprised because in Batman v Superman I didn't have too much. I didn't like Alfred, and I like Jeremy Irons. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think Michael Caine was a better Alfred.
I don't disagree with
I
you.
like Michael Caine.
He's kind of a forgettable character. in
Yeah, he
this.
just didn't.
It's not that he's bad. It's just that he's just.
Which he wasn't
he's just
on. He
kind of-
wasn't a whole lot of screen time.
That's true.
But I just didn't think, like Michael Caine in the Bale series, he had more dialogue and he had some really
Poignant things to say.
gut wrenching,
Yeah.
hit you in the heart. And I felt like with Alfred in this one, it was the same old,
Yeah.
why aren't you dating? So at least somebody's dating somebody, right? Just why aren't you married yet? Like,
Yeah.
it just he didn't blow me away.
Right.
Aquaman, Cyborg. I'm not a Wonder Woman or Superman fan. I love Wonder Woman and Superman in this. What? Superman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
Yeah.
What'd I say?
Superman.
Is that
Spoiler
territory?
alert.
Huh?
Is that
Spoiler
spoiler
alert.
territory?
I mean, no.
Okay.
They
It's
show.
pretty well known that
I'll say his logo.
if you don't know that by now, guys, I'm sorry. That's not going to be in the spoilers
there's
because
trailers that show him talking with
Yeah.
Lois Lane.
So
I was
we're
like,
good on that.
If you think that Superman's not going to be in the Justice League, you're
Yeah.
delusional. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah, that's
if
not
you want to cut that out, that's fine.
No, we're
but
good.
I'll say his S logo is in all of the. I mean, it's on
Yeah,
all the
it's-
posters.
yeah, we're good on
I
that. That's not
never,
spoiler
ever,
territory.
ever believed he was actually gone. I mean,
Yeah.
No one else does either.
No,
So.
and if I thought maybe I said
No, I was
Wonder Man
just
or
kind
something.
of I was kind of giving a
um,
joke about it, but yeah, it's that's not spoiler territory.
overall, I would say I have to give it an 8, and which now I'm a huge Justice League, DC, Batman guy, more so than Joe. I would probably give it a 9 if I didn't feel just like the story, like I said, the storyline with Steppenwolf was kind of rushed. But yeah,
So overall, an 8.
yeah.
Wow. I honestly didn't think that I was going to be coming out of this review giving it the highest score that it's going to be getting between the three of us. But
I'm hard to please.
well, and I understand that because and at this point, our expectations should be high. I will say that as far as the DC cinematic universe goes, I thought that this fit really well with the direction that they're going, and I think it's a positive direction. I really like the feel of it. It's much different than the Christopher Nolan Batman series, obviously. And you're getting the Wonder Woman, you're getting the Aquaman, you're getting the standalone movies out of it that are all going to be fantastic film. Wonder Woman, we already saw with it. A lot of people had issues with Batman vs. Superman. I personally am a fan of Batfleck. I thought the fight scenes were choreographed really well in BVS. I enjoy seeing I hate to say it, but I enjoy seeing a little bit more. You said the rated R version of Batman. I like to see the little bit more violent Batman, the older, grittier Batman that you're getting with Batfleck. I'll tell you, so character wise, I actually really appreciated most of them. I don't agree with you on Aquaman, but I also don't. I think a lot of that had to do with some of the writing. I think that he acted the part really well. I'm not so sure that they gave him the best dialogue, and there wasn't much of it for him, anyways.
Yeah.
But I thought he acted it well on screen. I really like seeing Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry. Trying to think of some of the others. Oh, okay. So this was where it kind of shocked me. So you mentioned the comedy in this. You like the comedy in this, and you felt like it was trying to go a little bit too Marvel.
Don't get me wrong. I thought there was some funny stuff.
It was. But
I laughed multiple times out loud.
Here's my issue with it. If any of you guys have ever seen an interview with Ezra Miller at a con or for another film that he's doing, the comedy in this is Ezra Miller. It wasn't well crafted jokes the way that you get from Marvel, and I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but they've been doing the comedy thing for a while now, ever since the original Iron Man, and they do it well. They stay in their lane well when it comes to that.
Well, we mentioned that Iron Man. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Like that's him.
Yes.
He's not even really.
Well,
he's
yeah.
not acting very much. Like,
Right.
That's RDJ.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, like I saw the interview with the panel from Comic-Con this past year when they did the Justice League panel, and Ezra Miller come out in some crazy costume and it was the exact same character that he is in Flash in this. Now, it has some humor in it, but it's, like I said, it's not well crafted, like well written out jokes that hit for timing or anything. Most of the time, it just feels like Ezra Miller being kind of the awkward kid that he is. Some of the other jokes that were in here, I thought were actually a little bit better, even though they weren't joked specifically by words. There were some things that happened in here, I will say, between i.e. Wonder Woman and Aquaman that happens. It was actually quite funny, and I thought that was actually funnier than seeing Ezra Miller as Flash. Now, he doesn't do bad. I still like him as Flash, but I thought, I'm with you. I like to see the dirtier, the grittier style DC films. I would like to see rated R films come out from them, and not because I want to see nudity or any of that stuff, but because you can do a live action film with some of these people the way they're meant to be done, and I feel like that would be the direction that DC could go. And from Marvel, you've gotten that in some spin-offs. So overall, I like the film. I actually didn't have a problem with Steppenwolf.
You didn't ask me if I would see it again.
Would you see it again? I would. I would actually probably see it again in theaters, but and more so for this reason, because I feel like there were some things that I may have missed the first time around.
I would see it again in theaters strictly just because I enjoy it.
You enjoy it. I mean, it is entertaining.
It's Batman, Justice League,
Yes.
it's the whole thing. I'm going to buy that. I mean, I'm going to have that movie.
Yeah.
I don't own any of the Marvel movies. I own all three of the Christopher Nolan Batmans. I will own that movie. I just hate going to the theater and paying the same amount.
Yeah. So here's another. Oh, before I get my final score, this is another couple tidbits of information that you guys may need going into it. So Zack Snyder directed it. It's pretty well known. A lot of people didn't really care for the way he did BVS, but in the middle of filming this, something happened. He had a death in the family or something, had to step away, and had another guy step in and do some directing and stuff for him. On top of having to cut the film down to below 2 hours, I think that the parts that you're going to feel aren't coagulated properly, that don't really feel like they go together, a lot of that's got to do with that. I personally am a fan of the way Zack Snyder directs. I like the style. I like the action sequences that he typically
He
does.
Watchmen?
He did Watchmen,
Yeah, I like
which,
Watchmen.
by the way, stay tuned to the spoiler series. There may be some things in there about this, but so my overall score, it was actually lower than I thought going into it, but it's higher than both of your all. So it's quite interesting. So I gave it an 8.5 overall. So let me do just a tad bit of math here, unless one of you guys are better on your feet than I am. Well, Righteous Joe gave it a 7. Furious Brad gave it an 8, and I gave it an 8.5. So overall score for for Justice League. It's actually quite a bit lower than I thought it was going to be, but
it's higher than a lot of other
it's
places.
higher than a lot of other places give it. So Justice League gets a 7.8 out of 10. It's definitely worth the watch. And if you like the DC universe, especially what they're doing in the cinematic universe, you're going to really appreciate this film, and you're going to look forward to seeing some of the other things. If you don't, it's probably going to be the vein that you're going to be in anyway. You're probably not going to enjoy it. But I think if you go in and expect too much, you're kind of in the wrong place. If you go in with an open mind, I think you're really going to enjoy this film, and it's super entertaining.
I agree.
So, if you guys like what we're doing here with the reviews, make sure to like and follow us on YouTube.
You can check us out on Twitter at Right Fury Media.
We also have Facebook. It's Righteous Fury Media.
Righteous
right?
Fury Media, yeah.
And then our website, righteousfurymedia.com. We've got some game reviews, some editorials.
We're going to work on getting.
We've got the Punisher review on there, and we'll have this. This will be on there as well.
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be bringing you a lot more reviews, not only of the film and television division here, but we're also going to be bringing you a lot more in the video game realm, which is where these two really shine. On top, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good. They're good with film too, but when it comes to the video game stuff, these are your guys. So make sure to go and like us, follow us, check out the websites, follow us on Twitter, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
See ya.